Philadelphia is one of those American cities whose name carries more than geography. It suggests cobblestone streets, old brick buildings, passionate sports fans, murals splashed across row homes, cheesesteaks, universities, hospitals, rail stations, and the memory of a country being argued into existence. Today, Philadelphia is the largest city in Pennsylvania and one of the most populous cities in the United States, with about 1.6 million residents in the city and more than 6 million in the surrounding Delaware Valley metropolitan area. But its importance has never been measured by population alone. Philadelphia has repeatedly stood at the center of American life, politically during the founding era, culturally through music and public art, economically through medicine, finance, shipping, and technology, and emotionally as a city with a strong sense of identity. To understand Philadelphia is to understand how one city became both a historic symbol and a living, complicated, modern metropolis. Philadelphia began in 1682 with William Penn, an English Quaker who received a land grant that became Pennsylvania. Penn imagined a city shaped by ideals unusual for its time: religious tolerance, orderly planning, and civic openness. The name Philadelphia comes from Greek roots meaning brotherly love, and that ideal became part of the city's public identity. Penn's plan laid out a grid of broad streets and public squares, creating a more organized urban design than many older colonial settlements. The city's location also mattered. Sitting between the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers, Philadelphia had access to inland trade routes and Atlantic commerce. It could receive ships, move goods, attract settlers, and grow into a commercial center. In its earliest decades, Philadelphia was not just another colonial town. It was a planned experiment in urban life, religious pluralism, and economic opportunity. By the 18th century, Philadelphia had become one of the most important cities in British North America. It was wealthy, busy, and intellectually active, with printers, merchants, artisans, religious communities, and political organizers all shaping public life. This environment helped make it a natural meeting place when tensions between the colonies and Britain escalated. In 1774, the First Continental Congress met in Philadelphia, bringing colonial leaders together to coordinate resistance. The following year, the Second Continental Congress gathered there as conflict turned into war. In Philadelphia, delegates created the Continental Army, chose George Washington as its commander, and debated the future of the colonies. Then, on July 4, 1776, they adopted the Declaration of Independence. The city was not merely a backdrop to the American Revolution. It was the room where revolutionary ideas became national commitments. Philadelphia's revolutionary story was not only triumphant. It also included occupation, uncertainty, and vulnerability. During the Revolutionary War, the British Army captured Philadelphia in September 1777 and occupied it for 9 months. For a city that had hosted the Continental Congress and symbolized colonial resistance, the occupation was a powerful reminder that independence was far from guaranteed. The British presence disrupted daily life and forced American leaders to relocate. Yet the city's importance survived the occupation. After the war, Philadelphia again became central to the nation's future when delegates met there for the Constitutional Convention. The United States Constitution was debated and signed in Philadelphia, giving the city a second foundational role, first in independence, then in the framework of government. Few cities can claim such direct involvement in both the birth and design of a nation. For a period, Philadelphia was also the capital of the United States. Before Washington, D.C. was completed, the new nation's political life moved through temporary seats of government, and Philadelphia repeatedly served in that role. It was the largest city in the country until 1790 and remained a major national center into the early Republic. This capital era placed Philadelphia at the heart of debates over federal power, finance, diplomacy, and the meaning of the Constitution. The city also became associated with many national firsts. It was home to the first library in the colonies, the first hospital, the first medical school, the first central bank, the first stock exchange, the first zoo, and early institutions that helped define American civic life. Philadelphia became a laboratory for public knowledge, medicine, finance, and education. One reason Philadelphia remained influential after losing national capital status was its dense network of institutions. The city and its region developed into a major center of higher education, medicine, and research. Within the city are 17 four-year universities and colleges, making Philadelphia one of the country's major academic hubs. These institutions do more than educate students. They anchor neighborhoods, employ thousands of people, attract research funding, support hospitals, and connect the city to global scientific and professional networks. Philadelphia's medical history is especially deep, beginning with early hospitals and medical schools and continuing today through research universities, health systems, and biotechnology companies. In a city so closely associated with the 18th century, it can be easy to overlook how much of Philadelphia's modern identity depends on laboratories, classrooms, hospitals, and innovation districts. Philadelphia is also a city where culture is visible in public space. It has more outdoor sculptures and murals than any other city in the United States, turning walls, plazas, and neighborhoods into a massive open-air gallery. This matters because public art changes how a city tells its story. Murals can honor local heroes, remember lost communities, celebrate music, express protest, or simply bring color to an ordinary block. Philadelphia's cultural identity is not confined to museums, although the city has major ones. It spills into streets, transit corridors, and residential neighborhoods. The arts connect with the city's long tradition of civic participation and neighborhood pride. In Philadelphia, culture often feels local and public at the same time, rooted in specific communities but visible to anyone passing by. Green space is another major part of Philadelphia's urban character. Fairmount Park, combined with the adjacent Wissahickon Valley Park in the same watershed, covers more than 2,000 acres, making it one of the largest urban park systems in the United States. These parks give Philadelphia something many dense cities struggle to provide: room for trails, forests, riverside views, historic sites, recreation, and quiet. The Wissahickon, in particular, can feel surprisingly wild for a place inside a major metropolitan area. Parks like these shape quality of life, but they also preserve pieces of landscape history. They remind residents that Philadelphia is not only brick rowhouses and downtown streets. It is also watersheds, ravines, tree canopies, bike paths, and public land that has been fought for, maintained, and used across generations. No explanation of Philadelphia is complete without sports. The city has 5 major professional sports teams and one of the most intense fan cultures in the country. Philadelphia fans are often described as passionate, demanding, loyal, and brutally honest. That reputation can become a stereotype, but it points to something real. Sports in Philadelphia are deeply tied to civic emotion. Teams become symbols of neighborhood pride, working-class identity, regional loyalty, and collective memory. Wins are celebrated with overwhelming energy, and losses are processed almost like civic weather. The devotion extends across generations, from baseball and football to basketball, hockey, and soccer. In many American cities, sports are entertainment. In Philadelphia, they are also a public language, a way people argue, bond, remember, and define what it means to be from Philly. Philadelphia's influence on American music is just as important as its sports identity. The city has played a major role in the development of R&B, soul, and rock, helping shape sounds that traveled far beyond Pennsylvania. Philadelphia soul, in particular, became known for smooth arrangements, lush orchestration, and socially aware themes. The city's music scene grew from churches, clubs, radio stations, record labels, and neighborhood talent networks. Its musical legacy reflects Philadelphia's broader cultural mix: African American creativity, working-class performance spaces, migration stories, and a citywide appetite for expression. Music helped Philadelphia speak to the nation in emotional terms. Through rhythm, harmony, and performance, the city contributed not just artists and songs, but a recognizable feeling: sophisticated, soulful, urban, and deeply human. Modern Philadelphia is also an economic engine. The metropolitan area produces hundreds of billions of dollars in economic output and hosts major corporate headquarters. Its economy benefits from a strategic location between New York City and Washington, D.C., giving it access to financial markets, government institutions, talent, and transportation corridors. One of its fastest-rising identities is as a biotechnology hub. The region has been nicknamed Silicon Valley because of its role in cell and gene therapies, including immunotherapies used to treat cancers. That nickname captures a major shift in how the city is perceived. Philadelphia is not only a historic tourism destination or an old industrial city. It is a place where advanced medicine, venture capital, university research, and commercial innovation increasingly intersect. Transportation has always helped explain Philadelphia's power. Its rivers made early commerce possible, and today its infrastructure connects the city by rail, air, sea, and highway. 30th Street Station is one of the busiest Amtrak hubs in the United States, linking Philadelphia to the Northeast Corridor and beyond. Philadelphia International Airport connects the region to domestic and international travel, while the port supports shipping and logistics. Interstate 95 runs through the city as part of the major north-south highway spine of the East Coast. This network matters because cities thrive when people, goods, ideas, and capital can move efficiently. Philadelphia's location has long made it a connector between north and south, coast and interior, old institutions and new industries. Philadelphia's story is powerful because it refuses to fit into one category. It is a founding city filled with national historic landmarks, including Independence Hall, but it is also a living city of universities, hospitals, murals, parks, startups, sports rivalries, music scenes, and neighborhood identities. It has been a capital, a manufacturing center, a medical pioneer, a financial innovator, and a cultural force. Its contradictions are part of its character, historic and modern, proud and self-critical, local and nationally significant. The phrase City of Brotherly Love is an aspiration, not a simple description, but that aspiration has shaped Philadelphia for more than 3 centuries. To study Philadelphia is to see how American history becomes urban life, and how one city continues to influence the country it helped create. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.